If you exercise proper judgment and stay off of Twitter, you might have missed that this week, one of the biggest online events of the last decade took place. I'm talking bigger than any content cop. I'm talking bigger than Vine shutting down. I'm talking bigger than PewDiePie on that bridge. So what happened? Well, a guy showed his face. And I'm not even judging because I was there too live with everyone else, but that is what happened. And you know who Dream is, but if not, allow me to briefly explain. He is a massive Minecraft creator, best known for his immense skill at the game. And when said skill falls a little short, he'll just cheat to make up for it, but that's a whole other thing. And also, he's never shown his face. In fact, he's possibly the biggest creator to just not do that. Until now. And to put it lightly, it was kind of a big deal. And this all started with an incredibly annoying Twitter campaign that Dream launched where YouTubers did what they did best and overreacted to nothing for the views. But after all of this hype that clogged my timeline, Dream finally revealed his face to millions.
Hi.
Now watching that clip, your reaction was probably, oh, face reveal. Yep. He sure has one. But as is a common thread on this channel, we're going to Twitter and TikTok to see the worst humanity has to offer. Funny thing is, I don't even think I'm exaggerating by that much, but when you're a content creator, people feel very entitled to say whatever they want about your appearance. I mean, this isn't news to anyone. Because when you disagree with someone and have the cleverness of a toothpick, it's a lot easier to make fun of their appearance than to actually make any kind of argument for why you're right and they're not. And unsurprisingly, Dream's face reveal wasn't an exception. In fact, within minutes of his face reveal, variations of calling him ugly were trending on Twitter. Stay classy, internet. And the logic people will use to try to defend making fun of someone's appearance because they know it's an inherently shitty thing to do is say, oh, well, I don't like them or they're a bad person, so that makes it okay. Failing to realize that when you make fun of someone's physical features, you are also making fun of anyone else who happens to share those features. And the difference is, the person you're making fun of probably won't see what you're saying, but there will be people who share those features that are going to see it and just know, oh, Bfucker92 thinks I'm ugly. And also, Hank Green is the internet's official moral compass, and he agrees. It's just not a good thing to do. So it's fine if you don't want to listen to me, but you have to listen to Hank Green. That is an actual commandment of the internet. And what didn't help the situation was that Dream clearly felt uncomfortable being on camera, so he didn't look at the camera. He turned his face diagonally the whole time, and it made his chin look a lot longer, which, yes, I'll admit, when I was watching it, it reminded me of that old, troll face meme. But I didn't tweet that because who goes out of their way to try to make someone feel bad about themselves? That's so weird. I had the thought, and just left it as a thought. And the only reason I'm comfortable saying it now is because I have the time to say hey, it's because he wouldn't look at the camera. It just made his face look a little awkward, but he's still attractive, right? Because that's the really funny thing here. People are calling Dream ugly. It's literally trending, yet Dream is objectively more attractive than most Americans. He's well-groomed and in okay shape. That's really all it takes, but it's there. It's just hilariously sad that Twitter and TikTok have become these utter cesspools where the moment there is someone to gang up on, they have to jump on it without thinking for even a second. I don't get how a real person tweeted this. A real person wrote this and went, yeah, this is what I want to say to thousands of people. I'm good with this. And also, hey, just a little tip to the people trying to get clout on Twitter and TikTok by making fun of this dude's appearance. The kind of content you put out directly determines what kind of audience you have. So, for example, you have the streamer Show Me Speed, who staked his entire content on him constantly escalating how crazy and offensive he can be. So now he's stuck with an audience where he has to be offensive in order to be successful, right? So if you make fun of someone's appearance and get hundreds of thousands of likes and however many thousands of followers doing it, I promise you the community you build is going to be one you don't want. And so that's one half of the situation, the fact that people online are shitty. I know, I'm just as surprised as you. But the other half is that people are using this as an opportunity to reintroduce old controversies in the Dream lore. Which, on some level, it does make sense. I mean, if someone you think should face consequences is trending, that's probably the best time to try to raise awareness of it, as that's going to be when whatever you're saying is seen by the most people. right? And some of the reasons that I've seen that people are upset with Dream make sense on some level, and I understand, but some of them are just hilarious. So for example, you had him making an edgy edit in 2015 when he was like 15 or 16, and that was also the period of the internet where edgy humor was king. And this is my favorite one. He made a song about his experiences with ADHD and his self-image that started a domino effect that ended with him being called racist. Let's look at the domino, shall we? In the music video, Dream throws away his ADHD medication because throughout his childhood, he was hurt that adults were deeming him abnormal and putting him on medication as a result. So people said that he was encouraging his fans not to take their meds for their mental health issues, which on some level I actually do get, because the music video doesn't show any negative effects of him throwing away his meds. Actually, kind of the opposite. On some level, I do get it. But he responded to this by saying that all he was doing was sharing his experiences as a child. And eventually he went on to say that it's hypocritical to criticize his song while listening to music that glorifies drugs, to which he was called racist. Except he said nothing to indicate that he was talking about any racial community. And I'm sorry, it's just a little funny because the people who got offended just saw the word drugs and immediately associated that with the black community and used that to call Dream racist. Like, that's not kind of funny. Which I bring this up because in threads where people are calling Dream racist, like, this is one of the big reasons they were using with no context, and like, come on, that's not kind of a weak reason to definitively state he's racist. Come on. And there's also the fact that he was a Trump supporter when he was a teenager who was homeschooled in a conservative environment and literally was not exposed to any other worldviews until he started doing YouTube. How do I know that that's what happened? Because he owned up to this like a while ago. Like, hey, I don't know if people realize this, but your political opinions, for better or worse, are formed by your environment. So you can have bad opinions and then eventually form good opinions once you're exposed to new perspectives. That's a thing we should encourage, but okay, let's brand him for life. That just makes sense, right? And I've said this before, but I just don't like people taking advantage of him trending to participate in the discourse of like, I don't like him, so I can say anything I want regardless of how true it is. Because a lot of the stuff that I've seen brought up about Dream, there actually is like a reasonable criticism or at least discussion to be had about it, right? Such as the question of whether or not it's appropriate for a large creator to respond to private citizens on Twitter, if that could possibly lead to them being doxxed, which is an important discussion that Dream himself has downplayed. Just don't drown out the valid criticisms. That's my whole point. But I just hate the new generation of social media, which comes down to, here's a complicated issue with a lot of nuanced takes that are all valid, and rather than engage with those, I'm just going to take a stance in which I make definitive statements about someone's overall character, provide little to no reasoning or supporting evidence, and just dip out. And it's not even just like anonymous accounts on TikTok and Twitter. People with massive platforms are guilty of this shit, but that's a whole other video. So I think what I learned about the internet this week is the same that I learned thanks to Jake Novak, where it's, you know what, if the internet doesn't like someone or thinks they're cringy, there is no level that they won't stoop to just to make sure they know. And here's a really good example of that. You might have missed that Dream was accused of SA on TikTok, which is really serious, right? Thing is, the account that posted it had no name, no face. It was literally just like a Notes app accusation as the first thing they ever posted online. And you can see the accusations here. The whole story comes down to Dream kept his identity from almost everyone, including his best friend's secret, but showed it to a random stranger and happened to SA that one stranger who is making this accusation anonymously the day his relevancy is at an all-time high. Well, I'm convinced. Well, Jimmy, randos online always lie. Why are you bringing this example up? Because before the video was taken down, it had over 100,000 likes. And this is why my opinion of Twitter and TikTok just gets lower and lower, because these two platforms are able to spread a lie faster than anything I've ever seen, and the users will happily do it as long as they feel like they're part of something. Yet these are the same people that want to be the most socially responsible and cancel people for anything they do. It makes no sense to me. But whatever. You should still follow me on Twitter though, because it's not bad when I use it. I'm the exception, so. And speaking of self-promotion on horrible platforms, fun fact, YouTube thinks that across my entire channel, this is the video that you're gonna get the most out of, so maybe check it out after leaving a like. But I think this whole thing just reinforces my preference to stay out of the public eye as much as possible. Because, you know, the level of scrutiny and mudslinging that comes with it, it seems like it's too much for anyone to handle. But it's a good thing I don't have to worry about being under greater scrutiny anytime soon, right? I should probably get started on my future apology video, huh? Bye!